Hey, what's going on YouTube? So, I don't like honestly, I don't really know how to start this video, but I guess I'm just like gonna start talking. I feel like for a lot of my life, and for a lot of people's lives whenever they're like my age, like I'm only like 17. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of like it's a lot easier then because like you're at least in a sense like you're being like told like what to do, stuff like school. Of course you got like your chores, like stuff like that. Like it's kind of easy at that time to just like get into the zone of things, and it kind of just it makes things feel a lot more simple because it's just like, oh yeah, I just gotta do this and this. Like you have like your routine kind of laid out for you, you know what I mean? But for me though, like first of all, like I mean, I should say like, you know, like I got my mom, like, and I definitely love my mom. You know, I nothing but love from my mother. But I feel like in a sense I was provided for, you know, but like I wasn't really like raised in the sense that you would imagine it. Like I wasn't necessarily brought up, you know, like wasn't really taught like any like morals or like values. I wasn't really given like a lot of support in general. Like most of the time it was me kind of just trying to have to like figure it out on my own. And that would have been fine if it weren't for the fact that I just had no idea what I was doing. Like there were like a lot of times in my life where like I felt like lost and like confused, and I didn't really have like anyone to turn to. And I think that kind of brings me to the point of what I'm ultimately trying to say is that back then I was afraid because, like I said, I had no one to turn to. I didn't really have like a whole lot of guidance. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, and like I needed like help, like I needed guidance, but there was no one really there or like even really willing to give me any of that. And that was like, I mean, I was like even like 7 years old, like feeling like that. And but like 10 years later, I still feel like that now. Like especially now. Like it kind of feels like my life right now, it doesn't really have like a whole lot of direction or purpose. And it never really did. But I think before it was fine because it's like, you know, you got stuff like school where it's like, okay, you gotta do your schoolwork. You gotta do school every day. So once school is done, like you're good. Like you're okay to just chill. And like, yeah, like school sucks. You know, it always did suck for me. I definitely got bullied a lot, but like at least like it gave you like a sense of like purpose or even like fulfillment whenever you did it. Like it was something that you had to do. And so like you kind of felt successful in a sense for doing so. Or more than likely you're just happy that it was over for the day. But now I don't have anything like that. So what I do is completely up to me. But I feel like I've never really had any like ambition, motivation, like drive, really any like that. Like I have a lot of stuff that I'm interested in, stuff that I would love to do, but I probably never will because I just don't really have it in me. And I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never really known what I was doing. I just had to like figure it out for myself, basically making like every like poor decision you could possibly make and learning from it. Sure, but maybe sometimes learning the wrong lessons, like things that lead me to a worse spot in the first place. Like for example, like I used to have like a lot of like trust or like faith in people. I was like, not if I'm not the kind of person that would like betray someone or like lie to them or like get in their way, try to sabotage them, then I won't attract those people who would. But unfortunately, at least for my personal experience, that turned out to not be true. And it turned out to not be true over and over and over again. To the point where now it's like I can't really like trust people like at all. Like even for people who like I still know deep down in my heart like wouldn't betray me or like do something to hurt me to get in my way. Like I still can't trust them. Like if I like could keep tabs on them, I probably would. Because it's hard for me really to like trust someone whenever they say that, like especially whenever they say that they can be trusted. Because I always feel like there's just some sort of ulterior motive there. And I hate feeling like that, but it feels like no one's ever really fully given me a reason to trust them. And even whenever I do start thinking about it, I think about all the people who like betrayed me or like hurt me, and it was just nothing to them. Like no matter like how much it clearly like obviously hurt me, they just like didn't care. And I didn't really have anyone to turn to for that. So whatever I came up with, whatever like conclusion or solution I built, that is just how the world works. Because I don't have like anyone to like sit down and tell me otherwise. And even whenever people try, it's just like to me like it seems like painfully obvious that they still don't really like have my best interest at heart. Like it's still like, don't do that, like do the thing that I want you to do. And like it's always been like that. And it's to the point where it's like really I feel like the only person I can like trust, like the only person I should ever really listen to like is myself, what I want to do. Because that's basically what I was forced to do. So it's just second nature to me now. But it's like that means I don't really have a backup plan for if I'm just genuinely wrong. So I kind of like get caught like in a lot of fires, and I just have to tell myself, learn from it. And I do, I do. I've learned from it, and I really don't make the same mistake twice. I can say that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish I had at least like one person like in my life like to like give me any sort of guidance. Not because it's like there's something specific that they want me to do and they just feel like they can want to say anything to get me to do it, but because they genuinely care. But I don't think that's ever gonna be in the cards for me. Like not a single person really like comes to mind when I try to come up with like people who I know now, and there probably won't ever really be anyone. Like so obviously like I never like really like said this because it's been a while now, but I used to have like this one like girlfriend, and like it was my intent like to marry her like genuinely. And so I was kind of like, yeah, so everything that even if I don't really got myself figured out, yeah, I don't really got myself figured out yet, I'm gonna try, because it's like now I have like someone else to do it for. Like whenever I succeed, that also affects someone else. So it made me more motivated to try harder. More like I tried harder in school. I try to like improve myself more. It's like I was like genuinely like medically obese whenever I first met that girl. And once it started becoming like an actual like problem, like, I decided to change because I wanted to live longer so I could be there for her longer. Because that's just how I felt. But fortunately, I hate to say it, but well, I don't think she was ever really the person that I thought she was. And even if she was, it doesn't matter because I got in touch with her maybe I want to say it's coming on a month now, like 3 weeks or so. And it's like I was so like disgusted with like the person that she had become. The person that I kind of knew she was, because like she had, I'm not gonna go too into detail, but she had like a past with other people that I didn't really like find ideal, but she was past it and it wasn't too crazy. So I was like, it's okay. It doesn't really bother me that much, you know, especially because I was like 16 at the time. My morals weren't as like, I guess like set in stone as they are now, I want to say. So it didn't really bother me all that much. But I saw, like I said, I got back in touch with her and I genuinely wanted to be with her again. But she started going back to that stuff. And it was really different because it's like, you're doing this now. These are decisions that you're making now. This is your life now. And so I no longer wanted to be with her again because I was genuinely like I keep saying, I was disgusted. And she was no longer the kind of person that I would want raising my future children, especially not my future daughter if I have one. If that's not someone who I would see fit as a partner in the long term. And I don't date for fun, so it's only long term. I'm not for the short term, like at all. I do apologize. It's at the point where it's just me rambling. But since I lost her, or for one thing, for like the whole year since the breakup, like I felt so like hollow, I guess. Like I didn't really have like anything that I wanted to do. I was like, oh, I just like sat there being sad. And luckily, I was already a few days away from like finishing my weight loss journey. Like luckily, like the breakup didn't do anything to make me like lose my progress. Like we were good, but still, I felt really empty, and I hated it. I still hate it. I still hate that I ever felt like that and how that affected me. But there's not anything I can do now other than just accept that I kind of wasted a lot of time just being sad, being broken because of like what she did. And since then, it's gotten even like harder to like feel like I have any like drive or ambition to really do anything like at all. Like absolutely anything. It's hard to want to do it. Like first, I think it's been going on like 4 or 5 days now where I genuinely have basically not done anything. Like I play games a lot. I mean, I'm playing one right now, but I've been playing a lot less. Like I just feel like a mindless zombie sometimes with how I'm like scrolling on like just whatever social media app or just like watching YouTube videos. Like not even really watching them, just kind of just like having them play like in the background, and it just makes me think it's like about how much I could be like wasting my time. You know what I mean? And that's just it makes me feel sad because it's like I feel like I'm just not contributing anything to society or my personal life, and it makes me feel like I never will. And I have I have this like brother. He's like 3 years older than me. Like first of all, I want to clarify. Like I'm not like jealous of him like at all. Like I'm very like happy for him for how his life has like turned out. Like I don't I wish nothing but the best for him. Like I would never ever sit there like feeling jealous or like envious. But he's just a really good example, so I'm gonna include him anyway. So my brother, I'm not gonna like go too much in detail like what he does, but like right now he's like I don't know if he I don't think he's even in like the state or like the country anymore. Like he was in Florida for a time, but he's been working for this company for a few months now. Like he's been like traveling with them, like having fun with them, like, and he's making a lot of money, which is good. He has work like that's great. Like having money is great, being financially secure, all that. And of course like the partying's fun too. But what I really like about what he's doing is that it seems, from what he's told me, like the people that he works with, like they seem to be more than just like coworkers. Like he says that they like feel like a family, like people that he can rely on, and like people that like he's like super happy to be around. For me, I've never really like I can't think of a single time where I could say something like that applied to me. Like I'm a very isolated person. Pretty much like any social gathering you could think of, it's just something that I really wouldn't want to be a part of. Sure, I have my moments of like extra being more extroverted. Like I'm fine with it, but for the most part, it's just not my thing. And so I never really made a whole lot of friends, and even the friends I do have in real life, they do live pretty far from me now, or not super far, but far enough to where it's like yeah, can't just like meet up, you know. But like I guess that's something like I've always liked the idea of, and I think that's like why I very much enjoy like having like a romantic relationship, you know, because like it's someone else to like work hard for, because you know if you're putting in the work, it benefits them too. And I'm much more motivated at the idea of like supporting and like helping others than myself. And to the point, it's not necessarily a good thing because it means I neglect like super simple things like just like taking care of myself, you know, um like self-help, self-care, self-love, self whatever. It's just a complete afterthought to me. It's just like, oh, this only benefits me. Why would I do it? It's a waste of time. I've always wanted to do something that can like benefit, inspire, just whatever, just do something for others, something good for others in any way. I've always wanted to be like a creator in any sort of context, like a video maker, you know, like this, content creator, or like a writer, anything I can do to inspire people. But like I said, I don't have the drive. I have the want, but I just don't put the work in. I just don't even think about it sometimes. Putting the work in. I just think about how much I want it and how much I'd like for it to be realized, but it never really comes into fruition because I don't work for it. And yeah, I'm making a video now, but this just it just doesn't feel like it counts, you know? So whenever you take all that into account, I'm not really contributing anything to society. I'm not working towards my dreams. I'm not working towards any sort of goals. I don't even like saying dreams, but that just makes it feel even more unreachable, but just whatever. So I'm not doing any of that. Then is there really like a point like to my life. Like as I live and breathe right now, and as I go to bed in like an hour or so I can wake up tomorrow, what really is the point of that? To take care of myself, to sleep enough? No one benefits from that, and no one cares how much sleep I got or how well I slept. No one. That doesn't matter to anybody, not even really me. Cuz I just get up. So because of how little I affect others, society, just like how little I affect anything in general, like it makes me feel like basically that my life is pretty much worthless and that it likely always will be. I have accomplished nothing, and I will likely carry out my last breath with everything remaining the same. Because the world around me will never change, because it refuses to. Because it seems that no matter how much I want it, I also refuse to change. And if me and the world are as connected as I'd like to think that we are, it will always be that way. I am 17 years old, and I can already confidently say that I've lived a life of a lot of pain and regret, and not one worth living. And I can confidently say, no matter how many years I have left on this earth, I will die with nobody remembering me. And those that may will only remember me for the fact that I somehow managed to do nothing.